Give yourself the greatest gift of your own breath. Tiptoe into the river of your dreams. Name the price you keep hiding for your own love and pay it to yourself in full. Wrap your life in your arms and taste it. Drink down the last drop of this moment. Spray the rose mist. Trample the dandelions in the forest of shoulds. Dream of a new day at sea. Cover yourself in new honey. Let the coffee in your veins remind you are still here, still waking up to your own softness and power. Welcome to The Authentic Creative, where we expand our capacity to feel good one deep breath, one bold choice, and maybe a little bit of magic at a time. I'm Siri Baruch Thornton, healer, creative, and lifelong explorer of all things energy, self-expression, and joy. With over 26 years of experience in Reiki, Akashic Records, and transformational breathwork, I've learned that feeling good is not a luxury, it's a practice. And sometimes it's a little messy. This podcast is here to help you trust your intuition, break the rules, the ones that need breaking, and live more fully in your gifts. So give yourself a deep breath, get cozy, and let's dive in. Hello, friend. It is Siri, and I am so glad you are here with me for this minisode. Today, I want to share some of the magic that unfolded in the 4 retreats that I led this year, and a few of the truths that rearranged me along the way. If you have ever felt the tug to step away from regular life and into something more sacred, or if you are someone who holds a lot for other people and wonders how to keep doing that without losing yourself, then this is for you. I already recorded another version of this story that was mostly from my own heart. It was very behind the scenes, very much about the edges and the shadow work and the parts of me that are learning the hard way. So this minisode is the other side of that. This is the one about the miracles and the sheer joy and light and delight. And the million moments where Source was present and breathed everything into existence, where light and the invisible, the unseen, informed miracles and magic and mysticism and unconditional love and support and tears and laughter and hugs and beauty and just... I don't even have words. I will still share some of what I learned because I think that's important, but I want to start where the retreats themselves started, with the magic. So when I look back on this year of retreats, it is almost hard to try and encapsulate it into what unfolded. I think of women arriving with suitcases, a heart full of hope and love and joy and fear, and leaving with softness and bright eyes and healed hearts and a different kind of quiet and expansiveness or fire in their system, ready to take on their dreams, ready to speak more of their truth, ready to give in ways that they couldn't give before, ready to be of service in ways they couldn't serve before, or ready to create healthy boundaries that they couldn't create before. I think of breathwork journeys where someone who had not cried for a very long time or not breathed fully ever that they can remember, and finally let themselves sob and finally let themselves breathe and retrained their body how to breathe. Thank you for teaching me how to breathe, one of the clients said. And afterwards she said it felt like she just is ready to live her life in this most free, most expansive way. I think of the quiet way that a woman in the corner of the room goes from barely making eye contact on day 1 to singing along to the music, to dancing, to crying, to sharing, to expressing her heart and all of her vulnerabilities, tears in her eyes, laughing at something so small and so precious. I think of the retreat in my home where the living room becomes a temple, where women can lay safe hands on each other and feel unconditional love, where women could lie on the floor with blankets and they breathed and they could feel the whole room shift from survival mode into something so much softer and gentler. That sense of, this is what it feels like to be a soul in a body, not just a body that is coping. And I think of the ocean house, The way the waves kept time for us as we moved in and out of circles and meals and hot tubs, sunsets. Breathwork in a bright room with the sea just right there, surrounding us, the sound of the ocean underneath the music, the moments where even with eyes closed, you could feel something bigger than all of what we were moving through. I remember women looking up at me after a journey and saying some version of, I didn't know it was possible to feel this connected without leaving my body. I didn't know I could meet my grief like that and still feel more alive afterward. I didn't know I could feel this close to God in my own breath. There were moments of deep, deep validation for the women. Little moments where something I could not have known came through and landed in their hearts as truth. Moments where someone felt ancestors or loved ones who had passed right there with them. Moments where a single sentence spoken aloud in circle echoed something they had never dared to say anywhere else. And there were just as many quiet little miracles. The shared glances across the table that say, I see you, the sound of women laughing in the kitchen, the way someone would slip outside and stand on the deck alone just to feel the sky and the trees and remember that she's part of something bigger. If there is one thing that I can say about this year of retreats, it is that Source showed up again and again and again and again, in breath, in body, in river and forest and ocean, in tears and laughter, in the way the women remembered themselves together. And all of that is so incredible. And I could go on about it forever. And it's also true that each retreat asked something different of me as the one holding the container. And while the guests were having these beautiful experiences, I was also learning some really human lessons about energy and money and boundaries and my own patterns. And I want to share a few of those, not to weigh you down from the beauty and the magic, but to show you how I am choosing to protect the magic going forward. So here's the first lesson. The magic is deeper when my nervous system is an integral part of that altar throughout, before, during, after. So what I noticed this year is that the moments where Source could move the most freely through the room were often the moments when my own body felt supported and present, when I had rested, when the schedule had breathing room, when I wasn't trying to hold 1,000 extra tasks in my brain and wear every single hat. I realized that my nervous system is clearly not separate from the retreat, and it is part of the ceremony, an integral part. If I am grounded in the preparation, the room can go deeper and with less effort. If I am grounded in the off-ramp, everyone can feel grounded in their off-ramp. If I'm stretched too thin, something in the field tightens, even if the music is beautiful and the candles are there. So one of my commitments moving forward is that the structures of my retreats have to honor my body and my limits as much as they honor the women who come. And that's just deepening that lesson that I already knew and was trying to create, but it's now I'm getting even more and more clear about this, that this is not selfish to really build in the practical needs and to not try and save and serve and expand too fast. It's a stewardship of the work. So then the lesson 2, money and logistics are part of the sacred work, not separate from it. So this year also asked me to grow up financially. I saw very clearly that I can't pretend money is this awkward little side note to the spiritual work. It is so essential to the container that it be clear, that the agreements be clear, that the agreements feel good on both sides. So when the numbers are vague or wobbly, the expectations are vague or wobbly, my body knows, my sleep knows, my creativity knows. And when the pricing is clear and honest, when the costs are really covered, when my own time and energy are valued, when other people's costs are really covered, there's so much more ease. And that ease allows me to pour even more love and presence into the women in the room. So another commitment is that the offerings I create have to nourish everyone. They have to nourish the women who are receiving, absolutely. They have to nourish the women who is holding the work. That is how this becomes sustainable and how I get to keep doing this work for years instead of burning out after a few beautiful, messy seasons. So lesson 3, the simplest portals often hold the most beauty and mystery and magic. So this year confirmed something that I've always known but sometimes have forgotten, that the simplest portals are the deepest. So breath, Reiki, sound, nature, beauty, sisterhood. These are the elements that keep showing up as the core of the work. And wherever I try to kind of stack too many extras on top as part of the magic, it just kind of scatters the energy too much, too many different elements. So you're going to see me simplifying. You're going to see me letting go of certain structures and ways of doing things that no longer feel like the truest expression of what I'm here to offer. And you'll see me choosing intimacy over impressiveness, and not because I'm shrinking, but because I'm really listening more to my body. And the last lesson, the one I'm still integrating and will continue to integrate, is that I am allowed, as a manifesting generator especially, but so many of us, all of us, you are allowed to begin again. And it's not from scratch. It's from the compost of everything that we've lived, of everything I've lived, from all of the retreats and the circles and the sisterhood that have already happened. And I'm allowed to take that gold, to thank the parts that no longer fit, and to start again in a way that is just more honest for my spirit and my body and my sustainability. And I think that this is true for you too, potentially, in whatever area of your life that this touches. You're allowed to begin again. You're allowed to choose yourself. And from all of this, a new season of offerings is emerging very carefully, in much more clarity and sustainability, an honoring of my nervous system, an honoring of what's being asked and called in. So I want to share a few of these in case your heart is like tugging a little as you listen. So there will be live online transformational breathwork journeys infused with Reiki that you can join from wherever you are. These are spaces where you can lie down in your home and be guided in your breath and let your system process and reset. There will be in-person circles in Camas, Washington and Happy Valley, Oregon. Evenings of slow, juicy flow yoga, breathwork, Reiki, and sound in community, meant to be soft landings where you do not have to perform or fix anything. You get to just arrive as you are and be held. And in the beginning of May, I will be holding a 3-day ocean retreat in Oregon, Rockaway Beach, that feels like the most distilled expression yet of my work. And it's called Authentic Creative, Breathwork and Reiki by the Sea. We gather May 3rd to the 6th in an oceanfront home on Rockaway Beach with only 7 guest spots. This is a very conscious choice. There will be transformational breathwork journeys infused with Reiki and sound. There will be long walks and ocean air, hot tub sunsets, and time in the sauna. There will be circles that feel like exhale, not performance, and a lot of space for your nervous system to truly downshift. And just as importantly, it is being built in a way that nourishes me as the facilitator and anyone that's included in these collaborations, so that I can just be so fully present and so rested and so open for you. And if any of this is tugging at you, you can find the details in the show notes on my website. You can also reach out to me directly and say, I think this might be for me, and we'll feel into it together. You're allowed to begin again. You're allowed to choose yourself, not in a selfish way, in a sacred way, so that the work you are here to do actually can flow through a body and a life that are being cared for, not sacrificed. So I want to end by bringing us back into the heart of the poem that I've written, because it's really the heart of this year for me. Give yourself the greatest gift of your own breath. Tiptoe into the river of your dreams. Name the price you keep hiding for your own love and pay it to yourself in full. Wrap your life in your arms and taste it. Drink down the last drop of this moment. Spray the rose mist. Trample the dandelions in the forest of shoulds. Dream of a new day at sea. Cover yourself in new honey. Let the coffee in your veins remind you you are still here, still waking up to your own softness and power. Remember how you once sang. Remember how you once bled for belonging. Recall the number you used to dial for validation and feel how quiet it has become. Tease out the please from your sentences. Walk down the stairs of your mind and notice how the distance from A to Z is only alignment. Ask less, does anyone really love me? And more, do I stay with myself? Let the old stories of codependence slide off your shoulders. No more repair performances. No more excuses. Let them think what they think, no need. Fear separates us all until love calls us back. Vast is the garden of love. Vast is the sky and sea. Deep is your love, deeper than you have ever dared to believe. Forget tomorrow's promises. Remember this. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to choose yourself. Always, dear one, always. Give yourself a breath. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this unfolding. Whether you have been in a retreat room with me or you are just feeling this through your headphones, however you move forward from here, my prayer is that you remember you are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to choose yourself. Always, dear one. Always. So much love. Give yourself the deepest breath you've given yourself all day. Keep expanding your capacity to feel good one breath at a time. If today's conversation stirred something in you, here are a few ways we can go deeper together. So the Authentic Creative Podcast, where you are now, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss more conversations like this. And if you loved this one, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. One-on-one work for private Reiki, breathwork, Akashic sessions where we can go right into your unique medicine. You can connect with me directly. Thank you for being here, for listening, for expanding your capacity to feel good alongside me. I'm sending you love and I can't wait to connect again soon. Loving you.